I understand that some states are arresting people for sleeping in public. If you're homeless, where are you supposed to sleep? The shelters can be overcrowded and they can be more dangerous than sleeping in public. Basically, this criminalizes poverty. I think it's extremely bizarre that we're going to arrest people for sleeping in public when they don't have a place to go. I mean, if they just can't afford, you know, I have put up videos before. I'm aware of the hobo phenomenon. But most of these people aren't hobos. They're people who are homeless because they can't afford a home. They don't have enough money for it. I've been in that position. I just didn't have enough money to make the rent. Okay? And, you basically you've outlawed poverty. Okay? And I think that it is, it's not only, people say, well, it's not compassionate. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. Because if the person doesn't have the money to buy a room, they can't, you're making things worse by putting them in jail and saddling them with a fine and the, whatever it takes to try to get out of jail. You're not making it easier for them to get a job or get a place to rent by giving them a criminal record. It's not just lack of compassion, it's lack of realism. If you can't afford to rent a room, what are you supposed to do? I know there are shelters, but like I said, the shelters can be overcrowded. The shelters can themselves be very dangerous. Okay? And if you make it illegal to sleep in public, you've basically made it illegal to be poor. Now, and as far as like panhandling laws or begging laws, I understand laws against aggressive panhandling and, approaching people and harassing them. That shouldn't be allowed. But if somebody just wants to exercise their First Amendment rights of saying, I'm in financial trouble, would you like to help me out a little bit? That's just freedom of speech. And then that person that they approach has the choice of whether to help or not help. It's not just lack of compassion. A lot of people say, well, this is cruel, this is lack of compassion. It's unrealistic. The person can't make themselves any richer by being saddled with a criminal record. We ought to stop this. And we ought to put the focus where it should be, which is on homelessness itself. I think that should be looked upon as the major problem, is homelessness. And, other problems that the person might have, such as alcoholism, should be addressed as well. But the major problem really is the homelessness itself. And an alcoholic who is wealthy is not homeless. A drug addict who is wealthy is not homeless. So the real problem is the lack of money. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I hope you like hearing that.